stage, Mike Carrion.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back to the NBA Bit. Hope everybody had a nice little Tuesday. Hope, we're starting Wednesday off nice. Who do we got in the chat this morning? We see Smoke Some here. Danik Auto, love to see it. Good to see you, sir. DJ P, thank you for the birthday wishes. Thank you. We got Common Man here. Yeah, great point, Boston base. Got to spread the gift giving out, got to spread it out. We got Stubbs in the chat. Good to see everybody. Hope everybody, hope everybody still has their jobs. Not like our guy Chris Paul, right? Which we're going to get into some of the stuff that happened off the court last night. A couple of different things. We'll go over the on-the-court action, maybe what we got going on tonight. We got a little bit of fun all over the place. Regulator said any snow coming your way. I think we missed most of it. We got mostly rain yesterday. We were supposed to be getting some snow, but it didn't happen. It looks like today's just going to be cold as hell. No snow. No snow here for the birthday boy. Borland in the chat, you got a scary W, but a W nonetheless last night. But yeah, no snow. No snow. Just that snow. No, come on. Shout out Sawyer. All right, I don't know. Where do you guys want to start with the Chris Paul stuff, and then we'll get into the Giannis stuff? I mean, kind of wild for this to happen in the middle of the night. So CP3 just like straight up cut, essentially. That's kind of what happened. That's what happened last night. I don't know. I imagine they're not releasing him yet, right? Because they probably want to see if there's any way they can include him in any sort of trade or whatever. But for this to happen in like the middle of the night is just it's so brutal. Just because, it's the most Clippers bullshit ever, right? So here we go. Here's the statement. I believe this is from Lawrence Frank, as reported by Ohm from ESPN. Lawrence said, "We are parting ways with CP3. He will no longer be on the team. We will work with him on the next step of his career. Chris is a legendary Clipper who has had a historic career. I want to make one thing very clear. No one is blaming Chris for our underperformance. I accept responsibility for the record we have right now. There are a lot of reasons why we struggled. We're grateful for the impact Chris has made to the franchise." It's just brutal. It's just brutal because, I'm not saying CP3 was all of a sudden going to turn back time, shout out Cher or anything like that. But you just think about how they handled Blake Griffin, right? You think about how they handled Blake, where he signs this long extension. I mean, he's told the story multiple times about how it was Ballmer, right? Ballmer was still the owner at that time. Ballmer is like, "Hey man, that can be your name. That's going to be your jersey up there in the rafters," right? They had that whole presentation, and then like 4 months later, he's playing for Stan Van Gundy in Detroit. So between that, it's just a dumb franchise. And you think about CP3 already coming out and saying, this is going to be it for him. And, I don't know what kind of movement the Clippers could make here with Chris Paul that would all of a sudden make their team better. Like, are we making moves to try to get Russell Westbrook back in the house? Like, is that what's happening? Like, what is the move that you're doing here to kind of just extinguish all of the goodwill that you might have had? And maybe CP3 also is back there saying, "I'm not really interested in being here." Like maybe that's a two-way street where he was like, "I thought I was going to be getting some minutes here." I want to actually double check something in real time because I can never know what's real and what's fake on the internet because I'm a washed king these days. But I thought I saw something that was Chris Paul related on the Instagram. We're going to be talking a lot about Instagram today, where he was just kind of like, let's see, did he have a story recently? Okay, so his story was, yeah. It was he posted this 6 hours ago. 6 hours ago. So what would that be? That would be midnight West Coast time, right? And all it says is just found out I'm being sent home. So like clearly this wasn't a decision that was a mutual agreement, right? And so like what if you're thinking about how this year's going to end, right? Chris Paul's career is coming to an end. He is one of your franchise is so busted, so broken from decades long malpractice. You don't have many guys to be like, "Hey, this was our legend here," right? CP3 was one of those. It seemed like this year was kind of like, hey, welcome home, Chris. It was clear early on that he probably wasn't going to be impacting winning too much, right? But still, parade him around. It's the last year. Give him. CP3 is going to go down as like a top 5 point guard of all time, right? I think. He didn't win a ring. We'll talk about that forever. Whatever. I don't care. He's going to go down as like one of the top point guards of all time. And so why not just keep him around? Let this be a nice way to wrap his career. You think about Paul Pierce didn't do it with the Celtics, but you just kind of keep him there. Top 5, give me the ones that are better outside of Isaiah Thomas and Steph Curry. John, you put John Stockton on that list. Who are the other? Give me the other 3. Give me the other 3 point guards. CP decided to not be a professional when in his retirement lap seems super strange. You think CP3 is not being professional? I guess Magic. I guess he's a point guard. Yeah, Magic. Okay, cool. Wait, what do you mean? Are you just saying that? Are you just saying that? Yeah, I don't know. You're putting Dame ahead of Chris Paul? Jesus Christ. DJP. I'm not putting Stockton ahead of Chris Paul. Steve Nash, maybe? But no, Magic, Curry, IT. I think I'm stopping there. I'm putting CP3 4. Okay, you're just listening to the top 5. Yeah, Dame's not in the top 5. He can't be. Anyways, I just think it's kind of nuts. I think it's you think about like what this Clippers season has been, right? You started off with Pablo Torre, which, by the way, if you guys didn't watch the new Pablo Torre video, I mean, just some Epstein, baby. It's just incredible. But anyways. Think about how this starts off with exposing the Kawhi Leonard and the Ballmer shadiness. FBI sniffing around the Clippers for this. You have the FBI sniffing around Ty Lue for his relationship and with Chauncey Billups and Damon Jones. You have this team who still does not have a first-round pick that is going to the Oklahoma City Thunder, are 5-16 after getting the doors kicked in. Kawhi already being minute managed and missing some time. And there's just no path forward for this team right now. Absolutely no path forward. And there's no move. I mean, all they're doing is killing whatever goodwill they had left with this CP3 move, in my opinion. Because they're not going to make any sort of trade that's going to work, that all of a sudden makes them better. Unless this was the first domino in watching, and I know No Dunks did a good job breaking down some of this, did a pretty good job doing breaking down some potential trade targets of do you move Kawhi now? Do you move Harden now? Is this just a total, hey, we need to shake the tree and see what we got left? Because I mean, you don't have your first round pick, and you're like, so you're like, oh, we can't tank, but I mean, you're tanking without trying right now. You're tanking without trying right now. Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see what Chris Paul wants, too. Does he want to go to a team and just kind of take on the DeAndre Jordan on the Pelicans role, which you might sound like I'm making a joke there, but seriously, that's kind of what he's doing. And I feel like he's been doing a good job, too. Yeah, Boss Base, if you want to die on the John Stockton top five, better than Chris Paul Hill, go for it. I'm not there for it. He never missed the playoffs, but also biggest stat patter of all time, John Stockton and Karl Malone, little combo. Also, maybe the most problematic dynamic duo of all time. If Power Duster said, if I was CP3, I would be courtside for every NBA All-Star event this season. Yeah, and I mean, that goes back, I think Stubbs put that in the chat, right? That the All-Star game is supposed to be it's definitely going to be in LA. But yeah, I'm trying to think of a team, with how bad things are going for Sacramento and for the Pelicans this year, it's just crazy for another team to have worse vibes than this team. I don't think I'm doing the Stockton better than CP3. I don't think I'm doing it. Did Doc coach CP3? Yeah, Doc was there. Didn't you watch that Hulu series? I know, like Stockton on paper, Stockton, right? The assist numbers are insane. He's gonna finish with like the most assists of all time, right? And his career averaged 13 and 10. And he entered his first year in the league was 84-85 for Stockton. Here, let's share this. Um, I'm not saying he's better. I'm saying his career is better. Okay, cool. Cool. So thank you. Thank you for your contribution. We putting Russ over him? No. No. No, we are not. Guys, come on. Come on. You guys tune in every day. I need the ball knowing knowledge to be a little bit better here. All right, there we go. Let's close out of the menu. So, yeah, Stockton enters the league here in 84-85. He started 5 games, was playing 18 minutes a game, 5-5. But then he finishes no MVPs, right? Finishes 10th, 7th, 9th, 12th, 12th, 10th, 11th, 8th, 11th, 15th, 13th. That's a pretty sick run, though. That's a pretty sick run at leading the league. Look at this, almost 14, over 13 dimes a game in 87, 88, 88, 89, then in 90. All the way through double digits. Really, really impressive stuff. Finishes, as we said, with 13 and 10 as a career. Played for a very long time, like 84-85 all the way to 02-03. But yeah, y'all can't handle nuance. You can't handle having a bad take, man. Take your take, and it's a bad one. All right, let's go to Chris Paul here. Chris Paul also played for 20 years. Finished with a 16, almost 17 points per game, 10 dimes per game. Let's look at the accolades here. He won the Rookie of the Year in his 3rd year in the league, finished 2nd in MVP voting, finished 5th in MVP voting, and then 13th, then 3rd, 4th, 7th, 6th, and 6th, and then a couple-year gap, and then 7th, 5th, and 9th. Bunch of all-stars in there. Yeah, I don't know. I'm taking CP3 over Stockton. Yeah, there we go. Bang. Got him. Stockton never got cut, though. Got colted. Oh, they didn't, though. They didn't, Boston-based. But anyways, yeah. Who's your top 5? I don't know. I stopped at 4. Magic, Isaiah Thomas, Steph Curry, and then I'm putting Chris Paul right there. And I haven't figured out the 5th one yet. But anyways, there we go. So that's the Chris Paul nonsense. I mean, the Clippers vibes will continue to be bad. Fascinated to see where this goes from here. They play Atlanta tonight, and one of the fun things about watching this Clippers season is the Coos, Ryan Rollins, Kevin Porter Jr. maybe. One of the funny things about watching this Clippers season is anytime they play a team that plays fast, we saw it with Miami the other night, they're just going to get dog walked. And I imagine we see that again tonight. As they take on the Atlanta Hawks, A-Town down. So that's going to be a fun one. I'm curious to see what kind of reporting comes out over the next day or two. Is Chris Paul cozied up with Chris Haynes? I forget who he's closest to, but I'm sure we'll see some chaos unfold from here, especially because Chris Paul's at this point in his career where he can kind of let it fly, right? So I'm curious to see if we get like an open book or shout out the Ringers Brian Curtis, a now they tell us type story. But yeah, CP3 stuff is nuts. And then let's go to Giannis Antetokounmpo, baby. The Bucks are playing tonight against the Pistons, I believe it is, right? Is it Bucks Pistons? And they are underdogs tonight. Giannis is probable, but reports came out yesterday. Oh yeah, Jason Kidd's probably right there. Kidd's close. That's a good call. Reports came out yesterday, and by reports, I mean social media sleuthing. Giannis took down all of his Bucks-related content outside of the cup win, of the NBA Cup win. I don't know what to make of that. I mean, listen, I'd be pretty pissed off too if we just lost to the Washington Wizards, but yeah. Yeah, there we go. Manicato. Man, that joint was so good. Feels like it's my birthday. Shout out Manicato. Smoke some. But yeah, you lose to the Wizards and you start losing your mind. But I don't know, man. Maybe this feels very LeBron-esque, right? The Zoomers are saying this is nothing. Interesting. Yeah, but Giannis is not a Zoomer. So unless he's got a Zoomer running his social media account, Snoop Loop said his iCloud is probably full. Yeah, that could be it too, right? Just out of storage, had to remove some stuff from the cloud. I don't know, man. The Giannis stuff is funky. If he didn't spend the entire offseason being like, I actually like being in Milwaukee, but it would be nice to win games. But this reminds me of the fit in versus fit out story. Remember that when LeBron was saying that about Kevin Love on social media? That's kind of what it feels like, where this is some. Are you applying? Like, do you think the Bucks front office weren't sweating? Like, they're like, oh, listen, there's nothing we can do. This is the roster we have. There's nothing we can do. Oh, my God. Did you see Giannis updated his social media? We got to fix this now. Like, I don't understand why that type of move all of a sudden would move the needle outside of Giannis just creating some drama around his name. Because, like, even if the Zoomers are saying it's nothing, you have to be self-aware enough to know that a move like taking everything team related off of your social media might put up some red flags. So I'm fascinated to see where this goes. In the offseason, he was like, I'm staying here, and then was like, but I was interested in New York. I would have gone to the Knicks. I would have. And so now I wonder, with the Knicks, we'll talk about the actual basketball on the court here in a second, but with the Knicks being a little funky, I wonder if they start, if the flirtations begin. Milwaukee's just kind of in no man's land right now, too. What exactly does he post that is team related? I don't know, but he took everything down. I don't know, Snoop. I don't know what to tell you, brother. Yeah, I don't know. Bucks are in a bad way. They're 4 games under 500. I just said fresh off of that L to the Wizards, and now they take on the Detroit Pistons. Giannis is probable tonight, which normally means you're probably going to play basketball. But if there was one player, I don't know, someone should look this up. I'm not going to. But if there was a way to say, like, who had the highest percentage of sitting when listed as probable earlier in the day, Giannis has to be the GOAT. He's got to be the GOAT. It happens all the time. And Doc Rivers at the helm, GOAT. So we'll have to wait to see if he plays. Our guy, Kevin Porter Jr., this is a good transition. KPJ, who balled out the other night, he's also questionable with some back spasms. Same, bro. Same.
We're the Porters. We share the crowd of up and down performers. Throwing things and buzzer beater corners. And one of us is playing for the Warriors. We're juniors and we're the Porters.
Let's get into the hoops. We got some fun ones last night. I watched a lot of this Toronto game, but we are going to start with the Celtics-Knicks because it was on the Peacock. It was on NBC, nationally televised game. Tirico and Reggie Miller on the sticks. I actually thought they did a good job last night. This was a funny game. The Celtics came out flat as hell. Knicks go on a 17-4 run to start this game. Jaylen Brown was basically handing the ball over to the Knicks. And the Knicks were beating them up on the glass a little bit. And then I don't understand this Boston team. I really don't. I don't know how they're winning games. I'm watching it. It doesn't make sense in real time. Like, I don't know how they're getting rebounds. It seems like they get every loose ball. The rotations aren't consistent. They don't make sense. Guys like Jordan Walsh and I heard Reggie Miller talk about Anthony. He was like, the Boston Celtics have a pedigree of 6th men of the year. Look no further than Peyton Pritchard and Malcolm Brogdon. And now you see Anthony Simons in this role. Anthony Simons is not the 6th man on the Celtics team. It's freaking Josh Minott. Josh Minott playing small ball 5, 27 minutes off the bench, just kind of doing everything. Makes some of the best and worst plays in a game. Had an awesome block on Brunson last night. But anyways, as I mentioned, Knicks get off to a hot start, and then Jaylen Brown just goes nuts. I think he scored like 35 of his 42 points in the second and third quarter. Celtics outscored the Knicks 37-20 in the second, 36-24, and then in true Celtics fashion, they have an 18-point lead heading into the fourth quarter, and then do their best to shit their pants. And they just, for whatever, I don't know what it is. It doesn't matter what 5 are on the floor for the Celtics. When it comes down to the last couple of minutes, they're like, should we make this game closer? There was a moment where Jaylen Brown, I think it was Jaylen Brown, I think they threw a double at him at the top, like just as he crossed half court. and he just threw it out of bounds. Just threw it right out of bounds. They got bailed out one time where same thing, and this was at the end of the third. They threw a double at him, and he basically hands a grenade off to Derek White, who knocks down the three. Derek White, too, finally got hot. 4 for 12 from three, but finishes the game with 22 points. I mentioned JB. JB 42, 4-4. Jaylen Brown is 7th in scoring in the league right now. I believe it goes Luka, SGA. I know Giannis, Ant, and Spida are all in that range. There's somebody else I'm missing, and then Jaylen Brown at 29 points per game. I'm going to say it right now. Jaylen Brown, at least right now, is second team All-NBA, I think. He's playing top 10. Imagine I said another birthday for Zakarian this year. I'm telling you, it feels like I'm aging, like I'm having multiple birthdays a year. I'll tell you that right now. Yeah, Maxey. Sorry, I forgot Maxey. Thank you, DJP. Maxey, top 5 point guard in the league. I mean, top 5 point guard of all time. But Jaylen Brown has been awesome. He's been so good. And I know it's fun to make fun of JB because he can't dribble with his left and his hair falls off on other people's shirts. But he's playing awesome this year, and it was cool to see him just take over. Peyton Pritchard, who had been red hot, 1 for 7 from three, slowed down a little bit. But I mentioned Minot. Like, Minot comes off the bench, has 11 points and 6 boards, but like some big defensive plays. Baylor Shireman too, man. Not Baylor Shireman. Ugo Gonzalez plays 23 minutes, 4 points, 5 boards, and a dime. But it was just impactful stuff. Impactful stuff from this team. And again, I don't know what the ceilings of this team will be, like, you know, as we get deeper into the season. I like the Tatum conversation. We can talk about every single week. And yeah, you powered us to say, like, that's where we're going now. So after 20 games, where do you think the C's finish up seeding wise? It just feels so wide open, right? Like, you have to imagine the Knicks and the Cavs are going to even out a little bit. But I mean, you get the Cavs are 12-9, the Knicks are 13-7, and I don't think you're seeing anything from any of these Eastern Conference teams that are like, whoa, dominant, right? Like, the Pistons look legit. I'm still putting the Cavs and the Knicks there. The Raptors, we're going to talk about in the next game. I really like Toronto. I think they're a lot of fun. But, like, when you get to a postseason, I don't think anybody's like, holy shit, we're playing Toronto. You know what I mean? And that's not even disrespect. I just don't think we've seen any of these teams win consistent playoff rounds, you know? Like, Detroit hasn't won one in forever. The Knicks haven't. They crapped out in the Eastern Conference Finals. Cavs can't get out of the second round. So, like, I just don't think you're scared of anybody. So I think they could finish anywhere between, like, if we go pop over the standings here for a second, right there. So right now they're in the 7 seed. The 8 seed, but they are 2 games out of the 3 seed. I mean, you could see a world where Miami cools off. You could see a world where Toronto cools off. The Magic are 8-2 in their last 10. They've been playing great ball, but, like, you know, you're not surprised if any of these teams all of a sudden are 4-6 in their last 10, right? So I don't know. If you told me they finished 5th or if you told me they finished 10th, I'd believe both of those scenarios, because I think one of the issues the Celtics will run into is that regardless, like, of how they're doing currently, if Jaylen Brown misses 2 weeks or if Derek White misses 2 weeks, they're cooked. Speaking of cooking, though, Mikal Bridges was awesome in this game. He knocked down 8 triples. Brunson, a really rough game. I thought Brunson was like the ultimate floor guy, especially when it came to, like, fantasy stuff. Man. Just terrible. 6 for 21, 1 for 8. Josh Hart was kind of lost out there after a hot start. Cat, you know, if you just looked at the box score, you'd be like, wow, Cat had a pretty good game. Cat was a mental case out there last night. 29-7, but the small ball was throwing him. He was complaining a lot, flopping around. It was just a weird game from Cat. But Knicks are on a back-to-back tonight. They take on the Hornets. And again, I'm not, like, nervous about the Knicks long-term, but I was just more impressed. That was a pretty good Celtics win. They're 4-1 in their last 5. 4-1 in their last 5. And they beat Detroit, Orlando, Cleveland, and now New York in that run. Would you rather have Bridges or Brown? Excuse me? Mikal Bridges? Or Jaylen Brown? I would take London Bridges over Jaylen Brown. I would take Jeff Bridges over Jaylen Brown. I like Jeff Bridges. I think that Mikal Bridges over Jaylen Brown? Regulator. You've been watching too much Charlotte Hornets basketball. Yeah, no. Mikal Bridges over Jaylen Brown. Are you working for the Knicks front office right now? Bruce Brown? Yeah, Bruce Brown. I would take Bruce Brown over JB. All right, let's do Toronto. This game was fun as hell. Raptors 121-118. Blazers made a little bit of a push late. Denny just continues to be a fantasy hooper. 25 and 8. 25 points, 14 dimes, 8 boards. The Blazers win this game if Denny doesn't brick out 150 free throws. 6 for 15 from the field, still at 25 points, but he missed 5 free throws. It felt like way more than that. Donovan Clingan came back, only played 21 minutes. He was coming back from an illness. I think Time Lord played 17. Shaedon Sharpe, this was a good sign, finally played 30 minutes. I feel like his minutes were in the low 20s since he came back from injury. Curious to see if he goes tonight. The Blazers are 8-15, but doesn't it feel like they are closer to 500? I'm like kind of surprised they're 8-15. I feel like they're playing good basketball. But Toronto, let's give Toronto some love. BI 21-6. Scotty Barnes 28-7-7. Emmanuel quickly had a great game. He had 23 points and 8 dimes. Jakob Turtle Power had 11-7. Was kind of nervous he was going to get played off the court. That kind of happened as he only played 26 minutes. Jamal Sheed gave him 23 off the bench. Grady Dick 14 points in 17 minutes. They need him to continue to pop. Yeah, Magi, that's a great point, too. Still without Drew. They need Drew back. They do need Drew back. Get that true point guard back. That'll limit Denny's fantasy ceiling, but it'll raise the Portland ceiling. That's for dang sure. But good win for Toronto, man. They just keep stacking W's. That's all you can ask. That's all you can ask as a Toronto fan. I like this team. I have no idea. I mean, like, similar to the conversation with the Celtics, I think their ceiling's probably a little bit higher than Boston, unless you think Jason Tatum's coming back. But they just don't play bad guys for the most part, you know? And this is without RJ Barrett. If you slide Jacoby Walter back to the bench, if Colin Murray Boyles continues to evolve and develop here, I think that's like a fun spot to be in. He played 16 minutes, 10-4 off the bench. Yeah, they're just not playing bad guys. They moved to 15-7. Comfy in that 2 seed right now, right? I think they're in the 2 seed. That's fun. Let's go to Minnesota and New Orleans. This was a weird game, man. So Minnesota, wait, Giannis for Denny. Who says no? Yeah, because you know what? We haven't taken a look at what Giannis and Dame as a 2-man game could do, you know? So maybe pair up 2 stars like that, especially because Dame is a top 5 point guard of all time, says the chat. I'm not letting it go today, okay? It's my birthday. I can yell at you guys if I want to. Brown for Denny. All right, now you're getting closer. But politically speaking, I'm going to stay away from it. This game was weird. The Timberwolves, listen, Minnesota's 13-8. They have plenty of time to figure this out. I think I tweeted this out, or maybe I put it on Threads, trying to get into the Instagram Threads a little bit. I bet people were working overtime on the trade machine last night, trying to move Randall for Giannis or something along those lines. Because Minnesota, I mean, the Pelicans, who we got word yesterday that Zion's going to miss at least 3 more weeks with an adductor strain, right? So Zion's going to be out forever. They were without Yves Missy. Finally got a ceiling Trey Murphy game, but it really did look like Minnesota was going to lose this game. Ant hits a tough actually, it wasn't a tough layup, but it was a tough situation. Ant blows by the defender, hits a 2-point layup. Of course, it's a 2-point layup to tie the game. And then the Pelicans don't get a good shot at the buzzer. This goes to overtime, and in overtime, they outscore them 20-13. That's all they wrote. Ant-Man, I was pretty strong on Denny over Ant yesterday from a fantasy perspective. It ended up still being right, I believe, but it was close. Ant got an extra 5 minutes and used them. He finished with 44 points, 5 boards, and 4 dimes. It's weird because Ant's playing good basketball. There's something, they've got a little Celtics in him right now where they can't figure out how to close these close games. And this Pelicans team sucks. 3-19 now. This is the starting 5. Trey Murphy, Derek Queen, Abebe, Bryce McGowens, and Jeremiah Fears. Trey Murphy, I mentioned, finally got that ceiling game, 33-15. Queen, 21-8-6 in this one. He was pretty solid. Bay had 22-6. I saw Russillo tweet something out too, being like, it's a shame that the trade itself was so bad that they traded out freaking their unprotected first-round pick when they knew their team wasn't going to be very, very good. Because just looking at the players they got in the draft, Queen and Fears are great. I really like them as prospects. They're a lot of fun. It's just nuts that Atlanta's going to get a top 3 pick. Atlanta and OKC are probably... OKC's probably winning the title. Atlanta's probably getting to the second round of the playoffs, and then they are going to go 1-2 in the NBA draft in one of the most stacked drafts in recent history. It's crazy. Johnny Road in the chat. Let's go. Johnny says 2-5 in the West, separated by 1 game. Yeah, West is spicy, man. Well, yeah, even if it's top 3 protected, you know? How do you not throw any sort of condom on that? And Regular said, I like how Borrego's using these guys. Yeah, I mean, listen, if you get rid of Missy, I mean, I like Eves Missy, but just from a fun standpoint, I want to see Queen play these minutes. I want to see Trey Murphy cook. I'm fine with Bryce McGowan's minutes. That's kind of tough. But anyways, Minnesota gets out of there with the W. That's all you can ask on the road. They win 149-142. Let's go to the late game. I watched the first quarter or so of this, and then I fell asleep, and then I woke up at 1:30 or maybe 1, and I was like, let me watch a little bit of this here on the phone because I had a lineup that was like trying to save my night last night because it was a bad night. But J-Dub was trying to save my night, which I think he got me 36th in the main contest, which helped a little bit. Magi said Missy could get value in a trade. He could get value in a trade, but I almost think, like, don't you want to keep Missy? Like, he's a second-year big guy who I feel like you want? I don't know. Unless you don't think somebody like Queen can play alongside him. I don't know. Maddie says Giannis for Trae Young, Okongwu, the New Orleans 26 first in Atlanta. Ooh, okay, hold on. Let's do this again. I'm assuming you put this into the trade machine and it worked. So Giannis for Trae, Onyeka, New Orleans the New Orleans first that we were just talking about, and Atlanta's 26 first for Giannis. So that puts Giannis with Jalen Johnson. So it's Jalen Johnson, Giannis, Porzingis, Dyson Daniels, Risache. Man, that's fun. That's fun until Giannis misses 2 weeks with something. That is fun though. I mean, especially because they're playing like fine basketball without Trey, so it's just Onyeka. CP3 to Dapper Labs. Listen, man, I'm not gonna make. Nah, who's been awesome. Nah has been awesome. How about Giannis? Giannis plays the 5. Johnny said I'd do it if Milwaukee. Wait, Maddie, is that breaking news? Maddie just found the only good Giannis trade I've seen. That's pretty fun. I know Magi and Snoopaloop, you guys are Bucks fans in the chat. Would you guys do it? Would you guys do that? Who says no? Yeah, also, we're not going to make fun of Dapper Labs today. I saw Roham's tweet thread, and I think we're back, guys. I think we're back. I trust him this time. Giannis for AD will heal us Mavs fans. Sanjay, you got Cooper flag, dude. All right. I needed to get on the show and do a rant about how Giannis and AD should play the 5. Yeah, I agree. Let's stop messing around with it. All right, let's call it into the front. Let's call it into Adam Silver. Get him on the phone. That would be fun. All right, let's go back to this OKC game. Thunder are awesome, man. Thunder are awesome. They're just going to keep beating everybody in the Bay Area. Win this one 124-112. Golden State made it fun there for a second early in the fourth or midway through the fourth quarter. It was like I think they actually had the lead at one point. I want to say it was like 108, 110 or 108, 107. And then OKC just went off there in the stretch. Shea's awesome, man. 13 for 21 for the field. He had 38 and 4. J-Dub looks great. 33 minutes. He had 22 and 6. They're just good, man. AJ Mitchell had 10 and 4. Chet had 21 and 8. Like, they're just too deep. And I know, listen, Golden State's without Steph Curry. Golden State is this year's Atlanta Hawks, where they go one game above 500, 500. One game below 500, 500. That's all they do is play 500 ball right now. Jimmy Butler got dinged up in this one, did not return to the game. Golden State could be in trouble if both Jimmy and Steph are going to miss a handful of games because this team will be ass without it. They should get DeAnthony Melton back for this next game, I think. Draymond here, maybe not the next game, but the third. I don't know. They're getting Melton back soon. Pajemski had 17 and 4. I don't know what to say, man. Let's look at their upcoming schedule here. Golden State is 500 right now, okay? 500. And they're without Steph for at least a couple more games. We'll see how serious the Jimmy stuff is. I honestly didn't see the injury, so maybe if you know in the chat. But they now have a 3-game road trip, which they'll be favored in one of these games, on at least against Chicago. I assume they'll be favored. But at Philly, where Embiid didn't play last night, so maybe he plays tomorrow. Then it's at Cleveland. So they're going to be underdogs. I want to say they're going to be underdogs on Thursday and Saturday. We'll say they're a favorite on Sunday. Then home against Minnesota, underdog. Then at Portland, 2 against Phoenix, Orlando, Dallas, who all of a sudden looks fun. Then it's Toronto. We might be past Christmas, and this team could be funked, I don't know what they do. Magi said Jimmy came in injured and left injured. You think he'll miss some time. Yeah. I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, we should focus on OKC a little bit more. Like, if they had lost to the Pelicans, it's a different story. But OKC is just awesome, man. They are now 21-1, and in the words of Shorzy, they'll never lose again. They just seem like they're going to continue to cook. They're just going to continue to cook here. So if we look at their upcoming schedule, they are home on Friday. I think that's their next game. Yeah. Home on Friday against Dallas. Then they go on the road for Utah on Sunday. Then a little bit of a tough stretch here. They host the Suns on Wednesday, which I believe is Cup. That's Cup related. Then the following Wednesday, and then we'll know maybe they'll play in the weekend, right, for the Cup action. But then they'll host the Clippers on the road at Minnesota, host the Grizzlies, 2 games against the Spurs, a home and away. Are they going to win? Like, just how many games are they winning? How many games are the Warriors winning? 75? It's just nuts. I mean, the Warriors, the Thunder, they're just so good. They're so good. And it just looks easy for them, man. Easy for them. Some Tankathon stuff. Johnny did it for us. He says East has the 4 best odds. Hawks from the Pelicans, Pacers, Wizards, and Nets. Clippers not too far behind. Regulator said a healthy Spurs could give OKC a challenge, but they may win 75. Yeah, man. Wemby should be back soon, too. If not later this week, next week, I would think. OKC. It's just insane. It's insane. Let's get the last game. Oh, no, we got 2 games left. Spurs and the Grizz. Also, hey, listen, I don't know if anybody from ETR is watching the show, Establish the Run, who, A+, they do a great job on their content and projections. If you guys project Jaren Jackson Jr. to be a good play again, that's malpractice. That you got to stop doing it. I didn't draft him, but you got to stop doing it. You're hurting the people. All right? The Triple J run is over. I'm done. I'm done with it. It's Edie's team now. It's Zach Edie's team. Trade Triple J. Trade Ja. Let the young guns cook. Not to be confused with the other young guns. Pew, pew, pew. Ja Morant. Triple J had, in 27 minutes, had 7 points, 6 boards, and 5 turnovers. Awesome. Edie here had 19 and 15. He's put together a nice little stretch of games. Jalen Wells had 20. He was the lead. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Cam Spencer of the Spencer Bros had 21. He led all things. You know what we do have to do, though? I hate to do it, or I love to do it. I can't decide. But sometimes this happens in this game. In this game we love, in the NBA, sometimes you come across a special player who does special things, and we have to go out there and support him the best way we know how. Because last night, there was a player in this game who shot 50% from the field. He made 7 triples. He had 31 points, 5 boards, and 5 dimes. And you want to know how he did it? You want to know how he hit all of those threes? He hit all of those threes with these hands.
Same hands that work the pain. Same hands I fold in prayer. 12 years and I'm still learning what it means to really care.
Harrison Barnes.
They see me on the court at night, but that ain't all I am.
From where?
From Ames to San Antonio, trying to serve a bigger plan.
Hands in the chat. Put them in the chat.
These hands that give, these hands that live, more than buckets, more than wins. These hands that give,
what are they?
These hands that reach to every child that needs to live.
That's a real gift. Oh man, the only good thing AI's ever done. Real quick on this though, I want to see something because since we've discovered hold on. Since we've discovered this video, Harrison Barnes is averaging, it's not that great, but he's averaging like 15 points and 4 boards a game in his last 10. All right, Harry. All right, Harry. Sanjay said, got my hands in the air in my office. That's all we can do. Yeah, the double dribbling's out of control, though. Yeah, okay. All right. Allen Iverson. Man, just funny stuff. Funny stuff. But Harrison Barnes legit has been balling. Also, the Spurs just getting smoked. Oh yeah, Johnny, you didn't know what this was, bro? I'll share it with you. I'll put the link in the chat. Harrison Barnes, and this is from his actual account. Harrison Barnes' actual account tweeted this out, and the tweet states, he said, never thought I'd star in my own music video. The tech has come a long way in inspiring more people to make music. You can craft one yourself. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. I just dropped the link in the chat. But yeah, back to the Spurs. So the Spurs without Wemby, they were without Castle, without Harper for a little bit. And so you assume they'd be stumbling and bumbling a little bit. They're 9-2 at home, 14-6 on the season. And then I mentioned Dylan Harper's back in 21 minutes, had 15-6. Good to see him get north of the 20-minute mark. That's his first time north of 20 in his 5 games back coming from injuries. I do wonder, they play tonight on a back-to-back. That's like my only concern, that maybe he sits, but excited to get out in front of that from a fantasy perspective once we think he's going to be full go. But I think Castle is still week to week. Haven't seen an update on Castle, but Wemby should be back soon. And again, like looking at the standings here for a second, though the Spurs find themselves in the 4 seed at 14-6, 6-4 in their last 10. They're like, and as I think it was Johnny you mentioned earlier, like really tight stuff here in the West, where the Lakers are at 5th, like Thunder by themselves. They're the 1 seed. Lakers are 15-5. And it seems like the Lakers aren't doing well because that last loss was bad to the Suns and LeBron looked terrible. But they're 8-2 in their last 10. The Rockets are 13-5. They're 8-2 in their last 10. I mentioned the Spurs 6-4. They're 14-6. The Nuggets are 6-4, and the Nuggets, man, are in trouble injury-wise, which we'll talk about here in a second as we get ready for tonight. Timberwolves, who I don't think are playing good ball, have still ripped off 3 in a row and now find themselves in the 6th seed. So if you're a Timberwolves fan, shout out Aaron Borland. You got to feel good in the sense that, like, even though the ball hasn't been great, you're still finding ways to get W's. And so you got to assume they're going to figure stuff out in here in a second. Dylan Brooks, who's putting up 30 points a game. The Suns are 6-4 in their last 10. They're 13-9. We'll have to wait to see what that Book injury looked like. I'm assuming he's going to miss a little bit of time with the groin. And then you get the Warriors are 500. Somehow the Grizzlies and Trailblazers are still top 10 at 9-13 and 8-13. And then look at the Clippers. They're 5-16. Kings are 5-16, and the Pellies. Just like bad. Quickly, let's do this game. Wizards were without Alex Sarr again. Maybe he's back, but it was Bags night. Marvin Bagley, 13-8. Nothing really to talk about here. Everybody was pretty average for the Wizards, but Maxey continues his torn pace, man. 35 points on 50% from the field, knocked down 4 triples, had 4 steals and a block in there with 6 dimes and 4 boards. Drum Dog Millionaire finished with 17, 10, and 3 and he did that all with 12, 10, and 3. Did that all in 17 minutes because he was just fouling the hell out of everybody early on. Paul George ended up only playing 18 minutes, which hurt my bags as bad as you can imagine. I thought we were finally getting 25-minute Paul George in a great spot, but because this game got out of hand, he didn't need to play the fourth quarter. VJ had 9-6, and Sixers here, 11-9, man. Respectable start considering their guys aren't really playing, you know? Let's look at tonight's stuff, and then we can pop over to the Dog app for a second and look at some of the ranks. But I mentioned the Blazers are on a back-to-back. You see the Cavs are now favored by 10.5. I'm nervous now. It opened at 9.5. It was 9.5 a couple of hours ago. When I was writing the blog, which, by the way, if you guys haven't messed around with Substack yet, please do me a favor. Go follow, go subscribe to Bagel with Locks. We're going to share. That's not what I meant to do. Let's go look at I shared the wrong thing. Let's go. I'm going to try something out too. If you're not following yet, I don't think I'm going to do it tonight because it's my birthday. I don't think I'm going to do it tonight, but maybe on Friday or actually maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow if I don't have anything going on. I'm going to try to do like a live chat like a live chat before lock instead of our normal live before lock, just kind of like going over injury stuff and maybe finding some picks and stuff, and then maybe start that into the basketball game. So if you're not over on the Substack, please go follow that. Been writing out pieces every Monday through Friday. And just banging those out, So go check it out. Go check it out. All right, let's go back over here. Yeah, so I'm a little bit nervous that, I thought Klingon might sit tonight because he missed the last game, but that was an illness and he only played 20 minutes last night, so maybe he's okay. Shaedon Sharpe, who I mentioned, his minutes have been limited lately, but he played 30 last night. So my guess, if I had to pick somebody to sit, it's Sharpe. They're on the road, and it's against Cleveland, who's fresh, even though they're without Jared Allen and Larry Nance. My guess is it's just Sharpe that misses, and that is what indicates the spread. But if it keeps shifting this way, I'm going to be a little bit nervous that our guy Denny is going to sit. Nuggets and Pacers, this is a 7.5-point spread. Jamal Murray is questionable. I was actually surprised he was questionable and not ruled out, so that's a good sign. I think we talked about it yesterday, but just like a quick recap. Late in the second quarter, Jamal got dinged up. It's either a knee. I think it was a knee, right? Let me actually double check what that was. It's either a knee or now I'm making up it was a hamstring. Sprained ankle. It was an ankle, excuse me. So he rolled his ankle or sprained his ankle right before halftime. Came out in the beginning of the third quarter of this game against Dallas. Then he went right back to the locker room. Came back out, played a little bit more, finishes his third quarter rotation, and then this game was close. This game was in the balance. It was a one-possession game with like 4 minutes left. Jamal did not come back in. He was ruled out. So I think there's real concern that he doesn't play. I also wonder if they're just looking at the Pacers and they're like, listen, Jokic could probably go for 400 points tonight. So I just bet the hell out of the Jokic over. So I wonder if he sits. An underdog, he's going like right at the beginning of the sixth round. I'm fine clicking it. Johnny says Denver has absolutely no defense without Gordon and Brown. Yeah, I mean, this is an issue for them. I think like when they lost Brown, you're like, well, they're deep enough that they should be okay. But man, Cam Johnson's been pretty rough. It's Bruce Brown revenge night, though, against the Pacers. Bruce Brown revenge. Let's go Gary Neville on the sticks. I don't know. I'm going to play Jamal in the sixth round if he's there and click him on underdog, but I kind of lean that he sits. This feels like a great Siakam spot. This seems like a great spicy P spot. He's done nothing but let us down, but seems like a good spot for him. And then Benedict Mathurin, again, will continue to project well and continue to hurt me. Spurs and Magic. This is a straight-up fun game. Magic are favored by 7.5. Wish, one, that the Spurs were healthy and that they weren't on a back-to-back. Again, I mentioned, I feel like Dylan Harper's probably the only one likely to miss. Desmond Bane on a generational run. I believe it's 3 consecutive games. 3 consecutive games of 50 points, 50 fantasy points for Bane. I'm going to continue to go to Desmond Bane. I think this is a great matchup for both him and Franz, and they're kind of cheap. So then you got Clippers at the Hawks. A lot of early games tonight. My old ass loves that. Hawks are favored by 3.5. This is my favorite. You want to do something nuts here? Okay, ready? No, hold on. Let's do not financial advice. None of this is financial advice. None of it's financial advice. None of this is financial advice. Do what you love what you do. Something like that, right? Okay, so what if you just do an adjusted line bet for the Hawks to win by double digits? I don't know what that payout is. Adjust the line to Hawks minus 9.5, maybe even more than that. The Clippers are going to get cooked by any team who plays fast. Now, the Clippers are on the road. They went from Miami, where Harden only played 20 minutes in the first half, started to play a couple minutes in the third quarter. Ty Lue benched everybody, and then Kawhi and Zubats came back in. Harden didn't come back in. So maybe you could make the case that James Harden is fresh. However, I will counter you with James Harden was in Miami and now is in Atlanta. I don't know. The Clippers have been getting cooked by any teams that push pace. I imagine Atlanta's going to play quick. So I kind of like the idea of just jamming an adjusted line on this one. Snoop Loop says you guys are on crack if you think Giannis is getting traded in season. Pass the pipe, baby. Weird move not bringing back Harden in. Yeah, I mean he's been bad. Wait, Magi, do you not know? Do you not know what the Atlanta scene is like? Or are you trying to wink, wink, pretend like you don't know? Yeah, he had. I mean, Power Duster. I guess if you want to be generous here, they might not have been bringing him in because of that specific reason, right? Like Harden has been loading so many minutes, has been doing so much work that they were just like, let's Kawhi. We need Kawhi to play 30 minutes so that he can get his legs under him, right? And then let's not have Kawhi play with all the second unit. We'll bring Zubats back in, and then go ahead, Harden, take the night off. That's the bull case for it. But in general, I think teams that push the pace against the Clippers are just going to run them out the gym because Nick Batum is not keeping up with Risache. Or like Chris Dunn's their only on-ball defender. Who is going? I guess you put Kawhi on Jalen Johnson. You try to slow him down, but Jalen Johnson has proven that he's matchup proof at this point. So I don't know. I kind of think you run with it. Well, no, I know you're not there. I know you're not there, Magi, but I feel like you've at least heard. How bad can things get for the Bucks? Well, I don't know. Snoopaloop says we might be doing crack out here. Yeah, and Kawhi has been awesome. Kawhi has been awesome this year. I agree with you on that, T Cage. I hope this game stays close because from a fantasy perspective, I think it could be a lot of fun. I think Jalen Johnson, James Harden, Kawhi Leonard, Onyeka Okongwu, because there's no Porzingis in this game, is always fun. Oh, regulator. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Appreciate the birthday love. I love it. So anyways, let's keep going. Charlotte against the Knicks. The Bing Bong Boys 8.5-point faves. They're on a back-to-back. I guess I assume the Knicks are all playing tonight since they're relatively thin. They're still without Shaman and OG. Mitch Robb, I'm assuming, doesn't go, but outside of that, on the Charlotte side, Brandon Miller, just a weird scratch the other night, and he has also been ruled out for tonight. I missed that already. I missed that he was already ruled out. Wow. Okay. Wow. I should have written about that this morning. I thought he was going to be a go. Con Knippel's been balling. Miles Bridges has been balling. They got Trey Mann? No, Trey Mann's also out. We did see Sexton finally no, he didn't. I thought he had a ceiling game. He didn't. We saw LaMelo play over 29 minutes, so inching up to 30. I guess both Miles Bridges coming off a really bad game. I got to rethink this Charlotte spot now. I got to rethink it. Yeah, Bridges versus Bridges. There we go. Bridges could extend Doc. That would be worse. That's pretty funny. He had a bad fall against the Raptors. Gotcha. He was a late scratch in that game, though. He was a really late scratch. LaMelo also closed finally. There you go. Back in the good graces. All right, we might have to adjust our LaMelo priors. Let's keep moving here. Again, after the 11 o'clock game, a lot of early games tonight. Wow, the last game starts at 8:30. Shout out Silver. All right, Nets and Bulls. Ugh. Michael Porter Jr.'s back. He'll cook. There's no Kobe White in this game. Chicago's been relatively thin on the wings. They're without Noah Senge, Kobe White, Kevin Huerter's already been ruled out. They got Q tags on Zach Collins and Dalen Terry. Isaac Okoro is doubtful. Jalen Smith is questionable. They should have Patty Will back. Josh Giddey, if Josh Giddey, his last five performances, 58 fantasy points, 33, 54, 37, 45. This is a great spot against Brooklyn. Brooklyn sucks. Speaking of Brooklyn, Michael Porter Jr. Has been on a heater when he's playing in his first game back from injury, 35 points, 7 boards, and 4 dimes. Nick Claxton, we saw him hit 40 fantasy points in his last game with 13, 11, and 6. Man, Chicago gets cooked by bigs, so let it fly. No update on Melton yet. No update on Melton yet. Matic Auto, thank you guys. I can afford a half a beer in New York City, which that's not a complaint about the super chats. I love the super chats. That's about New York City. Josh Hart gives Melo a lot of trouble for what it's worth. Okay, there we go. Having Patty Will back equals advantage Nets. I got the Nets. MPJ might go. Yeah, hey, listen, we'll do a Porter drop. We're talking. That's the second one of the day. We open with KPJ. Let's get to Michael Porter Jr. If I can find it. Where is it?
We're the Porters. We share the crowd of up and down performers. Throwing things in buzzer beater corners. And one of us is playing for the Warriors. We're juniors and we're the Porters.
Speaking of depression, the Kings play the Rockets tonight. Rockets they're no spread listed right now, but I'm assuming 45.5-point favorites. I'm not interested in anything Sacramento. Maybe you can get to Russ if you want to be like revenge. This matchup sucks, man. The defense is just going to be nutty. Dennis Schroeder is questionable. They're still without Saboner. I'm not interested. Nobody's going on underdog. The earliest anybody's going is the 6th round, and that's Keegan Murray. Russ is barely getting drafted. Houston Şengün. We finally saw a ceiling Goon. He had 31, 14, and 8 in that game against Utah, and now he gets the tough matchup of Drew Eubanks. No thanks. No thanks. Yeah, there we go, T-Cage. Need to lock in and actually watch a Kings game as punishment. I know, that should be, if No Dunks is watching, that's what they should do. Whoever loses, I'll text Skeets. Whoever, because if you guys don't watch No Dunks, go check them out. They're live every day at 10. But their pick 'em payoff loser, this time it was Tass who had to do a goatee, and it's very funny because he looks exactly the same. But they should have to do a playback of a Kings game. I think that's fun. Solo. Playback of a Kings game solo. But anyways, Goon is in a great spot. All the Rockets are in a great spot. My only concern is that this game's over at halftime. Pistons Bucks, we talked a little bit about this. Giannis is probable to not be on the Bucks next year. Yuck. Kevin Porter Jr., who came back and looked awesome, he's questionable. I guess he doesn't go. His back spasms seem a little dicey to rush him back like that after missing so much time. But maybe, I don't know. DJP, that's a great question. I forget when Dorian Finney-Smith's back. I didn't think he was going to be missing this much time. But on the Pistons side of stuff, I think they're relatively good to go. Sasser's not back yet, and Duncan Robinson, who missed the last game, is questionable. Don't have a real lean on that. This is, I don't know. Cade should go. Cade should just crush today. Also, just a reminder, Miles Turner sucks. The highest total on the slate, Miami and Dallas. AD coming back, cooked the Nuggets the other night. Now he gets Bam Adebayo. Bam, who also coming off an absolute heater of a game. I wonder if he turns back into Scam Adebayo. Norman Powell's questionable. I don't know if you guys saw this. Norman Powell in this game against the Clippers, he's coming across the lane, like across the paint, and he's trying to finish this crazy layup, right? He rolls his ankle and basically pushes off his ankle and then hits this nutty layup and clearly sprained his ankle. It looks awful. He's questionable tonight. I wonder if he goes. I don't really have a good read on it. And then they also have Kashad Johnson and Pelly Larson's questionable. Terry Rozier's out for prison stuff. Kangs kicked out the season ticket holder who complained about the defense. Yeah, we did see that. We saw that, what was that, the other night? Where he's yelling at Zach LaVine to play defense. So it was hilarious. Magi said, here's what needs to happen. Whoever we trade Giannis to has to take Turner. Yeah. Let's go quickly look at, I'll show you my ranks. I'm not going to build the whole thing out because we're going to wrap up here in a second. But I think, actually, you know what? We will build. We'll build. Let's build. The builders are building. Let's clear the ranks here. Let's zoom, enhance. All right, so I think it's pretty cut and clear. Just go Jokic, Giannis, Cade, AD. I don't love that AD's pick 4 in his first game back, but, like, whatever. After that, I'm fine. If you want to go Jalen Johnson over Şengün, I'm fine with that. You can also, I think I want to mix and match this range. If we think Denny's in, you could put Denny up here, and I'd be fine. Any of these spots. So I think I want to just mix and match combos today of this whole entire range. After that, honestly, like the Mitchell, we like attacking Portland, right? Just from a pace standpoint. I don't know if it's going to be with Mobley for me. I think I'm more interested in Spida, and then I'd put Harden there, and then Mobley. And then after this range, right, you get to 11. This is a nightmare spot for me. I don't really know what to do, right? You have Cat on a back-to-back against the Hornets, who are a little bit better defensively against bigs now. You have KD in a situation where they should win by 100. You have Bam, where there's no way Bam has 2 good fantasy nights in a row, right? You have Brunson. I mentioned the back-to-back. I think Brunson I kind of like. Then there's Fox, who's ADP 16. I actually think my favorite play is Pascal Siakam. And I know Siakam, like, yes, he had 51 against the Bulls, 47 against the Wizards. Denver is not playing great defense right now. And I think if there's no Jamal and we think this game stays somewhat close, I kind of want to go Siakam here nuts. And I don't know, next, excuse me. I don't know if that's nuts or not. Let me catch up on the chat. Going into the month, who's going to get punished first, second, or third, but didn't let the guys in on it till the big reveal at the end of the month. That's a great idea. That's a great idea for No Dunks. I love that. Knipple was on Fallon last night. I actually go the other way. If he was on Seth Meyers, I'd be more in on this. I think Whatever. We don't have to do a Fallon rant. But anyways, yeah, I think I'll wait till projections come out because projections I think are going to have Spicy P up higher. But I kind of want to do this. I kind of want to go Bam next and then Spicy P, Brunson, KD, Fox. That's kind of where I land. And in this range, I think is a lot of fun too because I really do like Kawhi. I like Amon, but again, the spot sucks. But Michael Porter Jr. and Franz are maybe my next two favorite clicks. And then I'll probably go Amin and Zubats. And then down here to Bane. I really love Bane. I love Onyeka. I think those are good spots. We should maybe like boost up our LaMelo now. He's going to project well. ETR is really going to like him. I bet he projects around 24, 23, 22, somewhere in that range. Cooper Flag in a pace-up spot. Same, and like both Flag and Hero. I think I like Hero a little bit more if there's no Norm. And then again, the 6th round, let's clear this. I'll click some 6-rounders that I like. Really like Murray if he's going in the 6th, I think there's upside if he plays, good swaptions. Really like Claxton, Miles Bridges. There was some Suggs, I think, is in a fun spot. He's not getting drafted a lot. Let's see. Anybody else down here? PJ Washington's queued up. Shaden Sharp, if somehow he plays in like Grant or Denny Sit. I think that's kind of fun. Benedict Mathurin, again, I'm sure he'll project well. Con Knipple, we were just talking about. Dude, Jalen Tyson coming off an awesome game the other night, 27 and 11, but Garland is back. So you got to keep that in mind. And then, honestly, I think you can get to either of the Nembhard bros. If Ryan Nembhard's going to be I like Nembhard if they're going to be missing guys again. And because all of these games start relatively early, I wonder if we get the Dallas news early. But Nemby, he's playing the minutes, man. 34 minutes in that last game. That's kind of fun. I don't know if you can expect a 28 and 10 again, but that's pretty fun. Yeah, you do have to lock in. PJ's questionable and Daniel Gafford, both of those fellas are questionable tonight. All right, gang, we're gonna call it there. Do me a favor, please. Go subscribe to the Substack if you haven't done that yet. Dropping a link in there. Oh, also the other thing, if you guys aren't messing around with us on Splash Sports, we have a couple of contests for tonight. We have 2 fun contests for tonight on Splash. I just fired this up, so we're gonna do a Survivor special. I made it 25. Basically, you have to pick a player to score 20 points. You can only use them one time each night. Just one guy needs to score 20. Pick that over and over and over again. Last man standing gets the W. And then we got a $10, just a tiered contest here, which I think you have to pick Jokic number 1. Jokic is going to score 1 billion points tonight. Just 1 billion points. Also, one other quick underdog note was noticing this morning, I got Giannis at like 4, 2 different times. Yeah, isn't that weird? Are people really scared about that Instagram stuff? But what's the plan for the birthday? We're working today. I'm gonna take it easy. I got some like admin stuff to do. And then we're going to take it easy because it probably seems like I'm goofing around about the back, but the back is so broken. My back is so broken. So I have to take it easy. I got to ice like 3 times today. And then I'm hosting trivia later tonight. But for the actual birthday, for like the celebrations, there's a local spot that just opened up, this place called Wiley's, which is nice. So I'm going to grab some beers on Saturday. That's going to be the plan. That's all we're doing for our washed 41st birthday. I will say, yeah, the back's cooked. The back is cooked, but a week from today, our 40 and over team, we are the 1 seed, baby. We lost the first game of the year. We ripped off 8 straight W's. We are the 1 seed going into the postseason. So and our next game is Wednesday the 10th. We take on the 4 seed. So I need to get healthy for that. So I'm hoping that I can play. Because I'm telling you right now, if the game was today, I think I'd be out. And I'm usually somebody who complains about being hurt, but plays through that stuff. But I'm a bitch about it. Like, I complain a lot. I definitely don't think I could play. And then that's right. I'm going to win that game. And then 2 days later, flying to Vegas for the Cup. So I'm excited for that. Excited to see the bros. Hope everybody has a great little Wednesday. Thanks for tuning in today. Appreciate you guys hanging out. This was a fun one. We had a little bit of a mess up top, and then we get to talk some good hoops. So I appreciate everybody hanging, and we will see you next time. Like and subscribe.